some of their favorites. You'll even find out what kind of music they would want to hear if they were stranded on a Pacific island. Join me for some interesting and entertaining musical insights of some of your favorite local musicians.
Travel is one of life's great rewards, and there's always something new to see and experience when you travel the world like I do. Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me as we get better acquainted with the world each week on Travel with Rick Steves. Together, we'll explore fascinating sights, discover amazing food, and make new friends from near and far. Your radio is the only passport you'll need. Join us for Travel with Rick Steves, Saturday afternoons at 1 on KSJE.
KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here to meet your urgent and emergent medical needs, whether they are COVID-19 related or not. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them. Whether it's a stroke, heart attack, illness, or injury, San Juan Regional Medical Center's caregivers are here to provide care to you and your loved ones. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com. Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It's Thursday morning, January 28th, 2021. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin, and thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, New Mexico, 103.3 FM over the air in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere on Earth from our website, ksje.com. Welcome also to our viewers who are watching this visual radio program. The video is streaming live this morning to the KSJE Facebook page and our Twitter account, and it will appear on our KSJE YouTube channel shortly, so we're glad that you are with us, however you have found your way to the program this morning. Coming up today, our topic is housing assistance, and my guest Douglas Joe from the San Juan County Partnership. We'll be talking with him in the next few moments right here on KSJE about that very important program in the community. And then, of course, don't forget at 9 a.m. it is our local COVID-19 Community Information Program. Hope you'll join us for that because we'll get a live update from San Juan Regional Medical Center's President and CEO Jeff Bourgeois. Also be talking to a couple of business owners in the community about some of the successes and challenges of being a business owner during COVID times. That's coming up today. Again, it's a streaming event live at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, you can always hear it on the radio this afternoon at 5:06 p.m., 90.9, 103.3, and KSJE.com, or tune in at noon to hear it on the radio station KNMI 88.9 FM. On the radio at 9, Mick Hess will take us roving with the arts, and today Mick is playing some music from some new and old composers on the program, some violin concertos and much, much more. That is coming up today on Roving with the Arts at 9:06 on KSJE. And don't forget, of course, we invite you to connect with us on Instagram in addition to Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And let's talk about the weather forecast. Outside right now, 25 degrees in Farmington with winds out of the east at 4 miles per hour. So wind chill feels like 20 out there. We are expecting some increasing clouds today with a high of 45 degrees in Farmington. Partly cloudy skies tonight, the low 31. Then tomorrow, warmer, but chance of rain showers in the forecast with a high of 49 degrees on Friday, 32 overnight Friday night with maybe a flurry or two still in the mix. Then by Saturday, partly sunny skies with 40 degrees for a high, 17 overnight. More sunshine on Sunday with a high again near 40, 43 by Monday, and mid-40s with partly sunny skies on Tuesday before the next chance of rain and snow moves into the region on Tuesday night on into Wednesday. Well, let me introduce my guest who is here with me this morning. As I mentioned, from the San Juan County Partnership, Douglas Joe is here in the studio to talk about his new job with the Housing Assistance Program. Good morning.
Good morning, there, Scott.
Good to have you here, as I put on the wrong microphone, so we have an empty chair. My apologies, but let's get the right chair up there. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
You're
and
welcome.
As I mentioned, this is a relatively new spot for you, right? Because last time you were here, we talked to AmeriCorps.
Yes, this is a new position for me in the housing program.
Good for you. And so we were talking before we came on the air this morning that this job is primarily aimed at the homeless population, but there's a really unique definition of homeless as well. And these are the folks that you are helping define housing, right?
Yes,
Tell me about that. Well, how does that How is that defined as homeless, right?
Okay, literally homeless as is living in places not meant for human habitation, cars, parks, sidewalks, abandoned buildings, emergency shelters, and then also they're fleeing from domestic violence situations or shelters.
Anything like that would match that definition, is what
Yes,
you're telling me. And so in that regard, so people come to you and they would apply for housing assistance with the partnership?
Yes, they would apply with us, and we have a client coordinator who is Angelina Martin, and her number is 505-325-4214. So she'll go ahead and do the process for you, and there's a process for each grant. And my number is 325-1178. So if Angelina is busy with another client, the call will kick over to my phone, and I'll just basically take down the information from the caller. And also, we're also doing surveys right now, which started yesterday in I believe Tuesday. And so we're doing surveys. When you do call, it'll take about maybe 5 minutes out of your time. Then after that, we'll start the process if you're eligible.
Okay. And a lot of these things, all of these things actually are being done pretty much over the phone these days, right? Unfortunately,
Yes.
your office isn't open to the public because of
Because
COVID.
of the COVID-19, yes.
Sure. But folks can still call and get in and get a hold of you and have you maybe try to help them if they're eligible, right?
Yes. Before, the Housing Assistance Program was located at Farmington Indian Center on 100 West Elm Street. But now we moved to a different location, which is at 1515 East 20th, Suite E, as in Edward. And that's where our new office location is. So a lot of clients are former customers. They think our office is still located at the Farmington Indian Center, which we're not. We're up on 20th, which is right next door to, right across the street of Grease Monkey, or next door to...
Okay. You know kind of where that is, probably.
Yeah.
I would say between Butler and Sullivan.
Yes.
On that stretch of 20th, if folks are looking. But they can't come to the office anyway, so it doesn't matter where
I was trying to think of Durango Joe's. There you go.
There you go.
Right next door.
Now everyone will know where that is now. There you are. But talk to me a little bit about the numbers of people that you are helping, because we hear during COVID that there's maybe a lot more folks who are either on the cusp of homelessness or really struggling. Are you seeing that at the office?
Yes, I seen that because I went to the housing program back in November, and we probably were getting like about around maybe a dozen calls a day. But now in January, it's like double the amount or more. So usually when I come into my office the next morning, there's like about maybe 15 calls that are on my messages. So yes, we're getting a lot of calls.
Gotcha. And I would hope that the funding has increased in addition to the numbers of calls, so you can help these people that are calling. Are you seeing any increase in dollars coming down, whether it's from CARES Act money or special COVID funding or anything like that? Is that finding its way to you?
Yes, the funding has increased. We do need clients now, because the grants run out certain times of the year. Like now, we just got another funding, and we got to use that up by September of 2022.
Okay.
So there's certain requirements under that again.
And that funding can help pay for rental assistance outright, or maybe or supplement what a family is able to pay, or you got some options when it comes to that?
The financial assistance to the homeless population and those at risk of becoming homeless, assistance may include utility deposit, security deposit, rental assistance, and eviction prevention.
So any of those things you can help with, perhaps, for folks. And again, it's up to the individual if they qualify. I realize it's not a blanket program, but if folks feel that they are either in the homeless situation or at risk of becoming homeless, really that's what you said was the definition of how you're helping. Or domestic violence is another important definition that we want folks to be aware of.
So, like, for example, under the MFA state grant, which serves San Juan County, the homeless prevention assists with rental assistance going forward, utility assistance going forward, and it's got they have a 3-day notice or a 30-day notice to vacate or court summons, and they're saying that they have they lost income, so they have to verify that, bring us the documents. Then there's a limit on income too that these clients have to meet. If they're over the income, they don't qualify. Then again, the last one is the house inspection, which I have to do. Then there's another grant that's called the Rapid Rehousing, which is assists with security deposits, utility deposits, and rental assistance going forward, which is literally going homeless coming from shelter, domestic violence shelter, or living in an uninhabitable living place such as a car, rent, garage, a shed. And again, we do surveys with them, and we get third-party agency verified homelessness on these individuals. Then we also have the COVID HP, same guidelines, the COVID RR. Then one's through the city of Farmington, which is the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. It's up to 80% area medium income for San Juan County. Serves participant within the city limits of Farmington. Assists with security deposit, utility deposit, first month's rent, and also their prorated rent. And literally homeless prorated rent, meaning that they didn't start on the 1st. Let's say they start on the 15th.
I see.
Yeah,
right.
so then you got
Half a
prorated
month.
back to the 1st, 15 days. So
You can help with that. So,
then we also have the PSH Pro grant, permanent supportive housing. Then again, I mentioned the Veterans Mini Grant, which helps with rental, utilities, security, utility deposits. Then the last one is the linkage, which we work with Presbyterian Medical Services. They have clients over there that they refer to our office, and then they do provide us all the documents that's required. Then next, I do the other half, and once they find an apartment or a unit that they want to live at, then I go over there and do an inspection again.
okay. And I want to talk about the inspections in a moment, but I also want to talk about what you mentioned too, which is services for veterans.
Yes.
Because we always hear that sometimes veterans have a hard time, or we hear about a lot of homeless veterans or veterans who are struggling, and so you've got specific programs that can help veterans in our community not
Yes.
be homeless.
Yes, So again, all they need to do is give us a call, and we'll do the surveys with them first, and Angelina will then determine which grant they will fall under. I mean, even if the mini grant runs out, there's other grants that we can put them under.
Right, and that's an important, I guess, distinction too for folks who maybe aren't familiar with how programs like this one works, and like the San Juan County Partnership, which kind of brings together a lot of grant programs and grant opportunities to help individuals, but they can kind of come to you, and you can figure out where that person fits depending on what their needs are, their income, all those, where they're going to live. Mm-hmm. If they're outside of the city limits, they can't apply with the city of Farmington, but maybe some other program would help them.
Yes, we also do referral, vice versa. They refer clients to us, and we refer clients to them. So if we can't help them, we got other referrals, such as TOTOP Behavioral Health Authority, Access Treatment Program, Presbyterian Medical Service, PATH, the Goodwill Veteran Services, TANF, New Beginnings, the Northwest New Mexico Firstborn, Family Crisis Center, ECHO, San Juan Center for Independence, CYFD. So these are all the other agencies we work with.
Great.
In trying to help these homeless.
Sure. Well, that's important. And so let me ask you a little bit about these housing inspections, because you were telling me before we came on the air this morning that this is an area where maybe a lot of times residents and even landlords can find that they are kind of getting into trouble a little bit because their housing stock isn't maybe up to snuff or up to the levels that you are required they maintain because of this funding assistance that you get.
Yes. Let's say, for example, we get a call from a client requesting assistance with rental. So they're already living in a unit. So if they qualify, then I have to go over there and do a housing inspection, which is under the HUD program. And you probably can find a form under HUD.gov if you're not familiar with what kind of inspections we do. So just go down that list and check it off, make sure these, because there's no difference from what the form is on the HUD.gov form of what I use. I just recently went through the training. And so one of the things I've seen most is that they have cracked windows.
That's no good.
That's no good. They have leaking plumbing. Smoke detectors is a must, and they have to be placed in a certain location. It has to be like 4 inches. If it's placed on the wall, it has to be 4 inches from the wall.
From the ceiling?
Yeah, if you
Or
put
from
it on
the
the
wall?
ceiling, it has to be 4 inches from the wall.
Okay, I follow
Then
you.
if you place it on the wall, it has to be 4 inches down, between 4 to 12 inches down from the ceiling.
Okay.
So that's one of the requirements. And you have to understand, this is the minimum requirement the government requires. And also, you shouldn't have no electrical wires exposed, which is a hazard to children. And also, all your appliances, they have to work. As they say under the HUD program, if it's there, it's got to work. If you have a window there, it's got to work. It's got to slide up and down. The lock's got to work. The door's got to lock also. The latches and the refrigerators, the heater, water heater, the shower, the faucet, the toilet, all of that has to work. So these are all the things that I check for.
Right. And you're going out and inspecting these
Yes,
locations,
I did
right?
inspection now. I went through the program. It was like a 3-day course, and so I passed my examination. So now I'm certified.
You're good to go.
I'm
And
good to go.
you don't always call ahead, do you, to let them know you're coming, right? The idea is that these things should be working no matter when you show up.
No, we informed them that.
Oh, you do? I thought it was a surprise
We
visit.
informed them that we are doing a housing inspection. That's
Okay.
one of the requirements that they have to pass. But I think they're not really familiar with what the requirements are.
I see. What you're looking for.
Yeah, what I'm looking for.
And that's readily available, as you said, right? It's You can go online to the HUD
Yes.
qualifications, right, and find what you're looking for.
Yes,
So-
and I really want to work with everyone, the clients and also the landlords. And we need these homeless people housed in units.
And that's an important point then, that if I'm a landlord, I could, and I have an empty unit or a lot of empty units or a unit I can't seem to rent out or what have you, I can apply to be on your list as a referral for clients that are coming in, or how does that work for landlords?
Yes, and I just received, I think, 2 more letters from landlords saying that their units are available to house homelessness under the subsidy program. So because of that, so I got to add them onto my list and make new forms again. And the listing of housing is what we give the clients. So the clients, they'll go look down the list and look at all these apartments that's available to them.
So many times it's the client that gets to choose where they're going to live. You don't assign them and say,
No,
okay,
yeah, I
you've got
don't
a family
assign
of
them. They
3, you're
choose,
going to be
yes.
over here. They pick from what's available. You give them a list of what's available.
Yes, and if the landlords are listening, if you can just email me your updated information to Joe D at sjcpartnership.org, and I'll go ahead and enter your information into the new listings that I'll be coming up with and updating.
Gotcha. Well, and as we've heard, you've got a lot of, sounds like you've got a lot of clients that are looking for housing. There's still a lot of need in our
Yes.
community for this type of thing, for this
Yes.
service. And so for landlords that are having a hard time filling spots, they should get on your list.
Oh, definitely. I just got off the meeting with Presbyterian yesterday, and they have probably about half a dozen clients available, ready to move in. So they are coming in.
Right. Well, that's great. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask you a little bit about is you have a job opening for someone to help you in this regard, a part-time position at the partnership, right?
Yes, the part-time position is a resource coordinator. It'll be 20 hours a week, and you'll be assisting Angelina Martin as far as client, taking care of folders, intakes, and things like that, taking calls, doing surveys, whatever else needs to be done. And we do need assistance right now.
Okay. You're accepting applications
Yeah,
at
send
least
the-
this
yeah.
week? Is that, or do you have a deadline?
Probably, I would say another 2 weeks. So send your applications to admin. Let's see, I wrote it here somewhere.
You wrote it down. Okay.
Yeah. Admin at San Juan County Partnership.org.
So admin at sjcpartnership.org is
Yeah.
how your email
And,
address
yeah.
would work. Got it.
So just use that email and send your applications, and make sure you have 3 references so we can follow up with all your references.
Okay. And the skills that this person would need for this type of job, what type, you mentioned they're kind of helping out in the office, but
I think it would really benefit us if they knew about grants, the process of how a grant works, where the detailed information that's needed, and also the filing process, and also for audit purposes. Because right now I'm getting an audit in 2 weeks. on the linkage program. This is it's going to be my first audit. So all the files have to be in order, and all the requirements, the checkoff list that I'm using has to be in the folder. So any other thing that they ask for, I need to fax it to them. And so we do get audit continuously on each of these grants. So that's the type of person we need, someone that's aware how these audits work.
Right.
And keeping these files in order for us.
Okay. That would be helpful.
Yeah, that'd be a big plus.
All right. Very good. Douglas Joe is my guest this morning from the San Juan County Partnership. He is working with the Housing Assistance Program over at the San Juan County Partnership, and the office is closed, but appointments are being made through the phone.
Yes.
And folks can still call the office and repeat that phone number for us, Douglas, if you
For
wouldn't mind.
For the client coordinator's telephone number is 505-325-4214, and my number is 325-1178.
Gotcha. And again, you are working with the homeless, and that is defined as a number of different things, right? I mean, certainly people that are living in places that are not regularly where people live is one.
And the other one is individuals and families do not have sufficient resource or support networks immediately available to prevent literally homelessness. And going down the list, literally homelessness is individuals or families who lacks a fixed or regular or adequate nighttime residence, meaning has a primary nighttime residence that is a public or private place not meant for human habitation. Then imminent risk of homelessness is individuals or families who will imminently lose their primary nighttime residence within 14 days of the date of application for homelessness assistance. And no subsequent residents have been identified, and the person lacks the resources and support networks needed to obtain other permanent housing. Then the other one is fleeing and attempting to flee domestic violence. Individuals or families fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, stalking, or other dangerous or life-threatening conditioning related to violence who have identified no subsequent residence and lack the resource and support network needed to obtain other permanent housing.
Gotcha. And you can help in all those situations. Again, there are other income requirements and what have you. And what's the turnaround usually if someone calls you today and they meet all their requirements, they make the application, they're good to go? How quickly usually are you able to maybe get them into some housing? I imagine maybe depends on the housing unit they select.
I would say a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, it depends on if the client brings in all the required documents.
Right.
Sometimes they'll be missing one document, and we still can't take them in. We need that income document or whatever from Social Security office, things like that. And then again, it depends on other departments how quick they assist the client.
Sure. It's a process.
It's a process.
And I understand that. But I know you work as quickly as you can because a lot of these folks, if they're in a temporary situation, that's not good to be there for another week if they can help it. So I know you try to get them in as quick as you can. But that's great. Well, Douglas, is there anything else we need to mention this morning besides the part-time position that you have for folks to come and work with you if they would like to apply, and the work that you do to help out our homeless and folks at risk of becoming homeless in our community?
No, I think we just about covered everything that I needed to bring out for now.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming in and the work that you all do at the San Juan County Partnership. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you too.
All right. You're welcome. That is Douglas Joe, my guest this morning from the San Juan County Partnership here on KSJE. KSJE is supported by the University of Denver Graduate School of Social Work Four Corners program. The program is accepting applications for the Advanced Standing MSW program starting this summer 2021. Students with a bachelor's degree in social work are eligible for the one-year program. Complete an application by January 15, 2021, and the application fee is waived. Stipends in child welfare and opioid workforce expansion and Native American tuition support to eligible students are available. Find out more from Janelle.Doty, D-O-U-G-H-T-Y, at du.edu or at du.edu/socialwork.